So let's see if this works. I'm starting a live stream just to play around with this idea of creating some content that isn't so polished or planned out. Because I have a few things I'm working on and struggling with, and I want to share this process with you. So just getting set up here so this will all work. Here's what I'm discovering. A lot of the big, well-known didgeridoo players, at least online, have created really stunning compositions. You know, they play pieces that are just so clean and precise and amazing, whether it's more traditional sound or dubsteppy. And what I realized is that my magic is playing in the moment, jamming along with other musicians, playing solo but in the context of having an audience and playing to the feeling of that audience, playing over electronic music when the beats are so clear and I can weave my sound in and out of the electronic music. But what if I want to create a piece to show all of you what I can do? How do I use this to attract new students or make someone go, yeah, I want to learn how to play like that? So I've been struggling so hard to get my sound to a point where I like it and create pieces that are actually repeatable. So I'm going to just sit here and jam for a bit and then share one piece of my process, which is to pick out the things I like and then to try to take them a little bit further. So let's see. This is my agave alien didge. And I can already see I need to fix the video a little bit. Okay. So usually I always start with a bit of a droney thing and then I go into a rhythm. I'll do that for now anyway. That works for me. Okay, so at this point, you know, I'm connected to the groove, I'm enjoying it, and I've already gone slightly off rhythm. So one thing that occurs to me is, maybe I need a metronome. That would help. But I get to this point and it's like, no, this sounds weak, let's try something else. This is when I usually go to really wobbly rhythms. Either a really fast one or kind of a slow groovy one. There was a moment when I went tup, 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 tup. I don't know if that translates well. I like doing it, but how does it sound? I don't know. So I would go back to the video recording of this and play that back and see if it works. And then play with it more. Then I just switched to voice because I wanted to, but was it the right time? Maybe it wasn't the right time. Maybe I needed to spend more time with that first rhythm. These are thoughts that go through my head. That's just a couple of little pieces. And so this is where I really feel for anyone who has ever asked me about playing rhythms or how to develop it further. Because there's a point when it really just flows and it's juicy, and then there's a point when it's kind of like, now what do I do? I don't know what to do now. What do I do? And this is where it can help to listen to music that you really like and see how it's structured. But what I'm thinking is that it might actually be more helpful to get even more formal about it. To take a song, for example, that you like and look at how it's structured. 8 counts of this, or 4/8 of this, 4/8 of that, 4/8 back of that, and see how it develops, and then to apply that to the didge. I often break down my rhythms into 4 8 counts or 4 chunks with a little turnaround at the end of each 4, and that goes around and around. 4/8s, 4/8s, 4 8 counts, 4 phrases, and then after maybe 4 of those, then maybe something different. That's just how my brain organizes it. I think it can get a little boring and monotonous at times, but that's cool. I mean, that's not a big deal, right? At least when we're starting out. It's hard to aim for everything at once. So I'm going to try just that structure, 4/8s, 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 and then something bigger, changing every 4 of 4/8s. So. Okay, here's what I'm discovering. And if you are watching this in real time, thanks for sticking around. This is a bit of a fun experiment. What I'm discovering is that it's too hard to keep track of it all in my head. When I'm jamming to recorded music or live, the structure is already provided. All I have to do is respond or have a conversation where we basically communicate with each other. Now we're going this way. Now we're going this way. I can do a high-pitched call, coo 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 coo, and the drummer might go da 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 da. That conversation gives me structure. Or I can go from a high kind of paced wobble to something like, and they'll pick up on that and go with me. And it just feels right in the moment because it's a live conversation. Playing solo, there isn't any of that. So I either need to have a metronome, that's probably a good idea, and I recommend it to you, have a metronome going to keep things structured and start to write it out. I hate writing down notes. I don't like taking notes. But what I'm thinking, just from talking out loud with you, is that I need to write down these pieces, these structures, so that I can remember them and build them. And then I can just sit there and read it. You know, maybe that section is just that wobbly bit. Second section will say, add toots. It doesn't have to be super specific, like the rhythm of the toots, just toot section, back to wobble section, and so on. I'm not going to write it down right now, but let's say I do this kind of on the fly, wobbly section, vocal section, toot section, back to wobble section. So there I tried to mix it up a little bit at the end. So, you know, wobble section, vocal section, toot section, wobble section, and then vocals and toots. So maybe it can grow that way. I'd love to hear your thoughts on your process for working on compositions, for creating longer rhythmic pieces, songs, for example. I see a lot of players out there, Dubravko, Andrei Smekel, and many more who have pieces, entire pieces. And the didgeridoo is mostly rhythm, but there's a lot more texture to it. And so you can really vary things from song to song. But what constitutes a song? How do you build it? Then once you have your song, you can play it until it's good enough to record it and share it. And that's the thing I'm running into. I don't have anything I like enough to share as an example of my playing. This is Breathwood. This is David Yates. Right now, I think I'm a better teacher than a solo didge performer. But I'll let you be the judge of that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching this experimental video live cast. A couple people joined in for a moment, like Gwendol Gray from California, hello. Jumped in and watched while I was actually doing this live, so thank you for sticking around. And this is more about opening up a conversation than to teach or show anything specific. I just want to get you thinking. This is what I've been thinking for the last couple weeks, ever since one of my YouTube viewers said, I want to see you perform. And if you show yourself performing, more people will want to learn from you. So where's your performance? Okay. Here's where I'm at. This is what I'm working on. All right, enough babbling. I'm going to figure out how to end this stream. Got to find the right button on this program. As always, happy playing. Thanks for watching. And please share your thoughts in the comments below.